Hey, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me this morning. It's actually pretty early. It's about 5:14 in the morning on December 24th. Couldn't sleep, so I figured I'd do the podcast. I couldn't do it last night, and I'm going to get right to it. No music today. I feel YouTube's trying to do something to me there every time I add music, so I'm going to knock that off. But anyway, pretty cool show for you this morning. This one is another one that has been is a requested one. And this one is in reference to karma. And karma actually is part of the universal laws of energy, and it's directly represented in the law of compensation, basically saying anything you give, you're going to get. That's karma. Um, which, if you listened to the podcast last week, we did go over that law of compensation, although I didn't explain it in the terms of in the thought process of karma, only because I like to keep it positive. And one thing that one thing that I've noticed is that sometimes we get a little confused with karma, um, because it's karma is not about getting even, or, well, let's just get into it. Karma, what is karma? Karma is an imbalance of energy. So based on the laws that we've learned yesterday, we have polars. For every energy has an equal and opposite. So if we lean too heavily to one side, we develop an imbalance in our karmic energy. And to be honest with you, you could have an imbalance of karmic positive energy. And we need to, and I'll give you a prime example of that. When you are giving way too much of yourself, that you're not taking care of yourself, or say you're in the profession and you're not charging people, and people are taking advantage of you because you are so kind, and you're at their beck and call, and you do whatever they ask, and you're not really taking care of yourself, and you're not charging. These are aspects of developing, doing good things with good intent, and yet developing an imbalance in your karma. And that was absolutely something that I know many of us struggle with, because many of you are light workers, many of you are just general good people that want to help people, and yet we think that the more we do for people, the better it is. And there is some truth to that. Although at the same time, you definitely have to be cognizant of your own energy and your own rest, relaxation, taking time to yourself, and understanding that sometimes it is okay to say no to people. That's, in fact, it's needed, because, well, if not, you're developing an imbalance in your energy. So, um, yeah. And then the opposite, developing imbalance of karmic energy. And you see that every day. You turn on the news. Anytime you're doing negative to people, not anytime, but like, if you are, if you, well, yeah, you're stealing, you're hurting people, and especially if you're doing this on a regular basis, you are not doing things that are in alignment with your highest and greatest good. And if you continuously do these negative things, then you're certainly developing an imbalance in your energy. Now, the only thing that I caution people on the side looking in, as we're looking at somebody's life, and we're looking at it through a lens of a karmic lens, we must be aware that karma is not a get even. Because as you're ascending, you don't want to look at someone and say, okay, um, you've done something wrong to me, and now I want to get even. Because that's not in alignment with your highest and greatest good. Our whole, as we ascend, our whole purpose is to forgive. Forgive and forget. Not forget. My apologies. Not forget. Is to forgive. And you don't forgive the deed. That's for sure. Definitely not. Whatever was done was wrong, I'm sure. But what you do is you forgive the soul. You forgive the soul, and you forgive for your own peace. But you forgive the soul for not yet being completely in alignment. But knowing that the soul is trying. And that is a struggle. I know it is. I deal with that a lot now, and I know many of you are. That's definitely something. I've worked with a number of people so far that have had situations in their life where they've been wronged and they feel it. And trust me, I've been there. I know it. It's not easy. It just can't be a focal point of your life, though. We must move on. We must move on knowing that there are lessons to be learned here. As the soul that committed that act, whether it be good or bad, whatever it was that caused the imbalance, we must be aware of the imbalance and not wish harm, but also forgive, knowing the soul is trying to do its best, is still working, and that in time that karmic imbalance will need to be leveled out. And the crazy thing is, the law of compensation or karma is an interesting one because depending on the severity of the imbalance, it might not be paid in this lifetime. So we may never see the payment come to fruition if we are so focused on it. And as I was saying, you don't want to be focused on it with the intent of getting even, because that lowers your vibration and you want to rise above. You certainly want to be forgiving and accepting of the idea that the soul is still trying to work and is still trying to learn. But one cool thing is that, as we have gone through these podcasts, one of the things that we've learned, a prominent thing that I feel that I have gotten out of this, which I've gotten a lot, but one thing is that the souls are learning from us as we choose higher vibrational thoughts. And if we come at somebody who has a karmic imbalance that has hurt us, and we cannot let go of the fact that, hey, you're going to get hurt because you hurt me, that is a lower vibrational thought. We're not rising there, and definitely something to be mindful of. And there are so many instances. I saw this unbelievable story where there was a woman cop who was going home after work. She worked night shift. In the morning, she goes home. She lived on the third floor apartment of this third floor apartment building. Well, I believe she went into another floor, like second, and she walked into what she thought was her apartment complex. Well, there was a gentleman that was sitting there because it was his house, but the door was unlocked, and that's okay. Well, she walks in. Being a cop, she has her gun on her. She thinks it's her apartment. She draws it. And the guy is trying to get her out of his apartment. Well, she ends up shooting him and killing him. And she was on trial. And while she was on trial, the brother of the guy that was killed, he took the stand. And in the stand, oh my gosh, I mean, to feel this kid is amazing because he gets it. And it just generates such love in you when you can think about this. But he went on that stand and he said to the court and to this woman officer, I forgive you. I absolutely forgive you, and not only do I forgive you, but I love you. And wow, I mean, the power behind that. And And like that is some true ascension going on right there. That kid gets it. And he is a kid. He was no I think he was in his early 20s, maybe even between 18 and 23. I don't know. But either way, it doesn't matter his age. He gets it. And he understands that we cannot live in that pain. It's not our purpose. Our purpose is to rise above, forgive, and understand that the soul is moving, trying to align, and not only that, but the pain that we felt. Now, this is another aspect of karma that is so interesting and directly ties to me saying earlier, sometimes the law of compensation doesn't pay you back in this lifetime. So, definitely something to be mindful of. But so what we need to sit back and think is, okay, I've experienced a wrong. All right. Now, all of you guys know that I have a lot of family that judges me. I talk about it a lot. Well, take for instance this officer. Um, did she develop an imbalance of karma there? Now, before I get into whether or not she did, let me continue this. So, if we experience a wrong, we must look back on our lives and ask, okay, did I do something in my past life that directly affected me in this lifetime and brought about this pain? Is that something that I was meant to live through so that I can grow? My answer most of the time, 99% of the time, is going to be yes, because there are no accidents. There are your soul absolutely agrees to everything that happens. Prior to the incarnation, you are presented with a roadmap. And it's like a flow chart. Now, I've heard it explained by many different people in many different ways, but the flow chart one just is one that I'm using right now. I've also heard of like a chessboard being used as an example of the directions in life that people can go. But with all these different decisions, it's just a weaving of potential possibilities in your lifetime of experiences, and how they above use those experiences to either help us rise or maneuver through life to hopefully get back to center and get back to our purpose. And when we are out of alignment, we definitely feel that in many different ways. But the point here is that karmic imbalance, and the situations that we experience in this lifetime are definitely planned. There was there are so many different stories out there that talk about the pre-birth planning and the amount of detail that goes into them. But then not only that, as you continue, your free will can change, right? You can change direction. So all these directional changes are laid out in front of us, and with hopefully the intent, okay, if you go here, we're going to do this to try to get you back here, but if you go here there, then we're going to try and do this. And I mean, it is just a spider web, a flow chart of, if you do this, we'll do this, if you do that, we'll do this to help get you back. Well, everything, and you agreed to that prior to incarnating in this lifetime. So when you are going through life and you have these experiences, which I have them even now, as much as I feel like I do good, I have people that treat me like not really good, but I know that my past life is playing a factor here. So what I need to do is learn the lesson. There are only two ways to break karmic imbalances. One, you live it, basically. So you wrong somebody in a really bad, in a negative sense, in an extreme sense, you're most likely going to have that brought back around to you. Or the other way is to learn the lesson prior to. Oh my gosh, and I will give you an example of that right now. So I I was having a squirrel get up into my attic and for a while now, and I put some traps out, the humane traps. They were just cages that I was going to use to transport. Now, actually I had two squirrels. So I caught one. I brought it 15 miles down the road, dropped it off somewhere, and then came back home. Caught another one. I had two. And that one I was going to let go, but kept it in the trap overnight because obviously I didn't want to bring it into the house again. Kept it in the trap overnight, and it froze to death. So to me, I was not I was yeah, I was not very happy that I did that. It was a bad mistake on my part, and this thing froze to death, and I really was not happy with myself, and definitely thought immediately like, wow, that's karma right there. Like, that's hurting me. I just caused some imbalance in my energy because I wronged something else. Whether it be I'd harmed another soul. So, but the thing is, I learned my lesson immediately. So immediately I tried not to dwell on it, but I immediately said, okay, what can I do differently next time? What is it that I did wrong here? What can I do different next time? And no kidding, I swear to you, ladies and gentlemen, I I threw this thing into my car in the cage still, and and threw it under the heat as I was on my way to work, and I was sending some Reiki healing energy to this thing to try to help it, unthaw or whatever. I was trying to do whatever I could. It definitely got to me. So, but I feel like my karma is balanced because I did learn. That's not something that I did maliciously, and it's not something that I did to and I immediately thought of, okay, how can I fix this? Not necessarily how can I bring this thing back to life, but okay, what can I do differently next time so that this doesn't happen again? I'm learning there. And those are ways in which you can learn from karma without actually going forth and reliving it, which is tough. You don't necessarily want to. Although, if you're in a low vibrational state, you're not really going to probably think in that manner, so you're not going to realize that. And we, as other souls, bystanders looking at that, or even, I'm not going to say victims because we are not victims, but even somebody that has wronged you, and we're looking at that, we should take note of that. Like, okay, their vibrations aren't high enough to understand the imbalance of karma. Because their souls are still learning to align with the body. So these are definitely some important aspects to understand here. That the souls are still trying to. There are some souls, many, that are out there that are still trying to align with the body. And because it's not truly aligned, or because it does not yet know exactly how to get that alignment to happen, or still struggling with it, well then, excuse me for that. Well then, that's something that we must be mindful of. And we must definitely, we have to forgive the soul. It just for your own peace. We really do. So karma's an interesting one. You look back, there are so many different factors there, so many different dynamics that we must consider. And my brother is one that I struggle with. And I'll tell you, this is not easy. We're human, we have emotions, we feel them, we get it. Mindfulness and meditation help with it dramatically. Finding other ways to get that release out of you, go running, punch a punching bag, work out, yoga, whatever you need to do to release this energy because you need to get it out. Do that. Don't keep that in. Feel it, but find a way to release it. As we always say on here, that's just something that we say repeatedly, because you can't keep that energy trapped in you. You feel the pain that someone else that you feel was brought about by someone else, where it could have been brought on by you, and it's just your own karmic imbalance that's coming back to get you, which I often feel is happening to me. I definitely feel like in another lifetime I might have been judgmental just because of how many people are judging me. It's amazing how many people I run into on a regular basis. It really is amazing that are just like, oh, you are this and you are that. And I'm, wow, what did I do? What did I do in my past life that, wow, I am like, hey, to the world, I am really sorry for what I did in my past lives, because I must have been one judgmental mofo. But it's crazy. But, I'm trying to learn from it. I'm trying to learn a lot, actually, and it's not easy. So, yeah, find a way to release that. And that's just a great way to balance that energy out without trying to wish harm on somebody just because they've harmed you. So, definitely a good rule of thumb. Good something to know and take from this for sure. So, all right. This might be a short podcast, actually, and it is the day before Christmas, so that's okay. But let's just real quick go over again. Karma, an imbalance of energy, could be caused from doing either too much good without taking care of yourself, or too much negative and not balancing that energy out. Could be paid back either in this lifetime or the next lifetime. And let's just say this: examples of being paid back in this lifetime. You go out and maybe you steal something, consciously, obviously. You steal something small, maybe a grocery store, a candy bar, or something like that. Maybe you're a little kid, but then somebody steals something back from you. That's an example of definitely something of karma coming back to get you in this lifetime. And not to get you, because that's not what this is. It is just the balancing. So just be aware of that. But anyway, yeah, karma can be good, can be bad. You can get it in either way if you're not taking care of yourself in the positive sense, and you're allowing people to take advantage of you. You want to definitely be aware of that. Step up, say no, take care of yourself. Be the one that is responsible for your own energy, because no one else is. All right. This is yours and yours alone. And that's an extremely important aspect of this as well. No one is responsible for your energy. Only you. No one else, that is. So, yep, could be good, could be bad. And then karma can be a direct how to balance that energy two ways. You either learn the lesson without suffering through it again, which the squirrel story was an example of that, or you live it like everyone judging me in this lifetime, which I feel is a direct representation of lifetimes in the past where I judged many others. That's unfortunate. We're not victims, so we've already said that. And all these things to be very mindful of. So approach karma with love and forgiveness, and not forgiveness of the deed, but forgiveness of the soul still trying to figure out how to align. All right. And when you begin to rise, because you don't want to develop your own karma there either. Like if you keep wishing ill will on somebody, you're developing an imbalance there. Just because you're not going out and actually doing something that's a good thing. You don't want to, but you also don't want to be stuck in the mindset of I wish ill will on you, because that is lower vibrational and you are not growing in that mindset. Not growing at all. So be very aware of that. Absolutely. Definitely. And again, this goes back to the law of compensation, which I think was number 10 on the law of universal energies. Law of compensation. What you give is what you get. Just go out there. I'll tell you this. Just go out there and worry about yourself Worry about what you do and what you bring in this world, because you are all so beautiful and you are all carrying such great love inside of you. When you focus on that love, and I know it's hard at times, you're going to find your way. You're going to. You're going to allow those that have passed before us learn from you, and you as well are going to learn from it when you act from a perspective of love rather than from a lower vibrational mindset of revenge or a need to help someone at every given moment of every given day, when you're not feeling your best. So definitely beware of all that. And with that, I'm going to take a few minutes. I know that you guys said that you like the longer podcast, and I totally appreciate that. This one, just because of the time of day it is and the day it is, day before Christmas at 5:42 in the morning. I'm just going to keep it a little bit shorter. So, yeah, with that, thank you so much. Love you all very much. I am going to channel now. But yeah, just go out there with love, be loving, be forgiving, be understanding. Know that there's a lot going on here that we might not completely know yet. We don't know all that is going on yet. But things are being revealed to us little by little. Things are changing. There's a shift coming for sure. And just go out there and love. Just go out there and love, be loving, be appreciative, and we'll find a way through this. But with that, I'm going to take a moment and channel for you guys. I'm already here in Enoch, so I'm going to allow him to come through. My children, Enoch speaking. Merry Christmas and happy holidays to you all, my children. Blessed are you that are here this evening, this morning, for we are here to wish you all a happy holiday time together with family, loved ones. Even those that are alone are not alone. And we implore you to understand that we are with you all in these times of beauty, peace, and love. Guidance coming from above at all times. But during this season of giving, we are so appreciative of the spirit that so many of you have. Grateful we are for the love that you all carry with you and attempt to bring out into this world, to show the world it is a beautiful place when you can feel and focus upon the love that is within us all. It is within this domain of love that we come to you now, with a greater understanding that, yes, the laws of karma are unfortunate in the sense that you will example what you have put forth. But this could be, as stated, lower or high vibrational. So when you continue to give and be of love, you will ultimately be love and get love in return. And this is where we come to you now with the hope and dream of you choosing to be higher vibrational most all of the time. For it is here that we will be with you and heard more easily and understood. The law of compensation in a lower vibrational state is one that will not allow for much growth. Growth will come from it, for sure, but while you are in it, in the darkness, with the mind focused upon the negative, it is difficult for the guidance to come forth and for it to be understood. It is when the realization comes between the soul and the mind that the lesson can be learned, and we are very appreciative of those opportunities. As we come to you now, with a deeper understanding that the law of compensation and karmic imbalances are beautiful in the sense that although you must feel negativity at times, negativity is something that you can grow from. It is the focus of the mind that will impact whether or not you realize the guidance coming through. If you can find a way to focus upon the light, the love, and change the mindset a little bit more, it is through this change that our guidance will be felt so much more and understood. Please be aware of the communication coming through at this moment is karmic imbalance of Christopher's negative sense of being judged in past lifetimes. For he was a judgmental individual in past lifetimes, which is impacting his life in this lifetime. But it is through his choice of attempting to rise above that is impacting his auric field at this time and allowing it to grow. For he is truly beginning to understand that gossip and negativity feeling towards another for their gossip of him are not productive. This is directly influencing his ability to rise and grow on a soul's level and increasing his octave level of soul energy. This, from our perspective, is a beautiful thing, and we encourage all to attempt to be more aware of the thoughts that you carry when it does come to the law of compensation and being impacted by someone else's negativity. For it is through the negativity that you feel, but the mindset that you carry in a positive way that will help you grow. And the consistency of this message, as Christopher is so questioning, is accurate. We are grateful for this opportunity to communicate with you this morning and are here to encourage you all to be of love always and to understand that love is ultimately the way to which you will find enlightenment. It is the releasement of negativity and an understanding that all is tied together through the law of divine oneness, that you may feel slightly different about situations that you have come across in this lifetime that you felt as if you were a victim. For as stated earlier, there are no victims in this planetary realm. We are all simply trying to grow. And we encourage this lesson to be learned, that it is all about the growth of the soul and the alignment of the mind, body, and soul as one. It is through that alignment that the auric field grows, choices that are made begin to align with love and thus grow from a sense of peace and understanding of a collective that is much more inclusive than just yourself. The energy you feel, however, is only yours in the sense that karmic imbalance is yours, not from an empathic standpoint. Something to be understood. Karmic feelings that you feel are just yours, and the imbalance is yours alone. your balancing of this energy is very possible in multiple ways that have been stated here this evening, through the learning of the lesson, through love, and the learning of the lesson through expression. Again, living an example of the opposite. And it is through this expression that we hope that the lesson can be learned, and thus the balance of energy be brought forth once again. And for this, we are grateful for your attentiveness and understanding to this energetic podcast this evening. We are so grateful for you all to be here, so grateful for your attentiveness, and we wish you all a happy holiday, to enjoy this season of giving, of love, and of service, for it is so beautiful to see you all walk through this planetary realm with smiles as you proceed to help others. We are grateful for this, appreciative of this, and encourage it more. We love you all so very much. Go and be the light that you are, and enjoy your day and your holiday. We are with you always. We love you much. And be well. Enoch speaking. Thank you, Enoch. Appreciate that as always. All right, so he actually brought up some past lives of me, which, you know what? I don't think they've ever told me before about my past. They've told me about my past lives, but never about the karmic imbalance that I've had. Interesting. Anyway, well, thank you so much. So, again, I'm not going to leave with any music because YouTube is trying to mess with me there. But so anyway, thank you all, ladies and gentlemen. As Enoch stated, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays for whatever holiday you celebrate. Wish you all the best of love, peace, and go out there and be the best version of yourself. I appreciate you all so very much. Thank you. Thank you. Enjoy the day. Enjoy the week. Be merry. And take care of yourself. Love you all. Good night.